But I don't wanna. I'm afraid. It's always so scary.
Kriegs did the wand reel.
What's
Three,
that?
two, 3-2, Juan.
Juan. Juan. What's going on, everybody? Hello.
Hello.
What's that?
Always have to turn up my volume.
You're too quiet, Jen.
Quiet.
You need to find some boisterousness,
Yeah.
some confidence in your voice. I guarantee as a teacher you spoke louder.
I sure did. I'm done with those days.
Need to bring them back. A lot of naughty kids in this classroom.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Stream should have been no Chris, no chaos. But maybe there will be more chaos because Chris isn't here. That's the thing. Unchristened. See? You guys have good titles. Hello, everyone.
You'd have the stream would have to be on duty, and they're the ones that have to do the title every day.
Oh, yeah, we could update it after the stream starts.
With the best title from chat.
Yeah, well, best title wins.
Wins what?
Wins the joy of winning.
The joy of winning.
Of seeing their title.
I did that.
That old cat said I will take it upon myself to add chaos.
Philip, I have no doubt in your ability. No doubt whatsoever.
Zilfer ordered new Monument t-shirts. So excited for the Big Boss shirt. I ordered that so fast. That one is so fun.
Oh, the orky one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool. Very, very cool. Very happy with how all the new shirts turned out. Big shout goes out to Ryan and the team for their t-shirt designs.
I can't move this.
Having fun with it. What's the matter?
Adjust the mic down and I can't. It's the thing. It's like, there we go. Ha, much better. Okay.
Hat and 2 shirts.
Now
nice. You will be the coolest nerd on the block.
Sigvac said, my vacation started today. My birthday on Tuesday. America's birthday, Monument birthday. It is time to celebrate.
Fantastic. Happy birthday.
We got some beer in the fridge if you want one.
All you gotta do is get here. There's exactly 2, I think. And there's 2 beers left from when my buddy Zach visited and bought beers. And he drank 4 beers while he sat here on stream.
Scorched Earth got a hat.
Left 2.
And they will sit there for...
Yeah. Nobody in here is going to drink them. How's everybody doing on this wonderful Thursday? It is Thursday, right?
It is Thursday.
I have no idea.
It's so weird. It's a weird week. Oh, my brain is Swiss cheese. Where do I look for the Monument merch? There's an apparel tab.
Yeah.
On the website.
On the site. New shirts like this.
Hey.
This is my favorite shirt. Well, the other one's my favorite shirt too. I have 2 new favorite shirts. The Paint or Die logo that I'm wearing, and the Join Us logo.
Yeah, those are good. Dylan Bourne driving to Disneyland.
What? You win the Super Bowl? Got the kids in tow? Family vacation? He's like, I don't have a family. I just love Disneyland.
I love Disneyland. I haven't been there in a very long time.
And she won't get to go either.
Maybe I'll just go without you.
You should.
Go by myself.
I'm not going. Heck with that place. Happiest place on earth.
You don't know.
Oh, I
You've never
know
been there.
how unhappy I am when I'm there.
Have you been there before? You said you'd never been there.
I've been to downtown Disney.
It's not the same.
I know there's more people at regular Disney.
So worth it.
I was never a Disney kid, so none of it appeals to me. Even with like the Star Wars experience and stuff, I'm like, nope.
What about like Universal, the Harry Potter stuff? Would you do that?
I mean, you know how I am. I'm like, are you going to be there? Is it something you're really dying to do? Is it on your bucket list? Then I will go with you.
Okay. What if I put
You'll have
go
to
to
deal
Disneyland
with
with Jason on my bucket list?
What's that?
What if I put go to Disneyland with Jason on my bucket list?
You got to deal with it. It might be your last time with Jason. You might be like, nope, you're out. You'll get rid of me because I will be the biggest complainer you've ever seen in your life.
A sarcastic grandpa said, question on shirt sizes. Do they run smaller or larger? I'm kind of in between.
I feel like they run true size.
True to size.
True to size.
So
They are neither too roomy or too small. If that makes sense.
They're like Baby Bear.
You know, I'm a 2X, and when I put it on, it is fit just right. So I don't feel like it's, it's not overly baggy. It's not baggy at all. But it's also not like, super tight fit.
They're not like slim fit. They're standard fit shirts.
Yeah, they're standard box fit. So they don't have like a slim form to them or anything like that. They're just really good, 100% cotton, pre-shrunk shirts. I've been very happy with them.
Panic bomb. I think that's probably what he's afraid of.
What's that? That I might
Plot
like
twist,
it?
Jason gets to Disneyland and gets hit with the spirit.
It wouldn't happen.
You just never know.
Oh, I know.
Sam, Sony, and Justice said a family friend worked as legal counsel at Disneyland a long time ago. She said the corporate that she interfaced with had an uncomfortable happiness about them.
Yep. Can't trust those people. Can't trust those people.
Yes, Angel said my wife printed Disney shirts for all four of us. Her and the girls all had happy sayings on them. Mine just said, I'm just here to pay for it all.
Yep. I had a coworker back in the day who was, the scout lead for his kids and all that stuff and did great dad stuff, but he was a Mickey Mouse fanatic. He loved Disney more than his kids did. He had like some membership card that got him like all sorts of stuff, and it's like, it was an annual pass, so he was like, I don't have to pay for our tickets. I was like, you
do.
You do, dude.
You pay a lot. But if you go a lot, it makes it feel like you're paying less each time.
And we were in Pennsylvania, so it was expensive just to go.
Yeah.
But he was ravenous about it. I was like, all right, man, good for you. He couldn't understand how I didn't give a damn about Disney, anything. He was like, how did you even have a childhood? And I'm like, of course I had a childhood. It wasn't filled with Disney stuff. Didn't like Disney.
Scrap the apparel for now is only available in the U.S.
As we test the system out, and then we'll be moving, hopefully, if we get good results from everything, customer service-wise and all that, the U.S. customers are getting to be a guinea pig test for us. But as soon as we, get feedback on that, feel secure with it, with our management team, then we'll fire it up in the EU as well.
Apparently not available in Alaska.
Maybe only contiguous 48.
It was. But
that'd be a question for Gabe.
They said they already contacted Gabe.
Yep. Let Gabe
Whoever
know.
it was,
That may be just a shipping setting. It also may be that it has to be lower 48.
Oh, dyslexic mini painter. Yeah. Gabe will help you out, but
nobody actually lives in Alaska.
He's off until Monday. So just be aware that if you don't get a response right away, he's not ignoring you. He is just enjoying the holiday. today is everyone's holiday day for the 4th, since it's on Saturday.
Yeah.
And they don't normally work Fridays.
No.
So we still give them a day off.
Which is not the way to do that. We are too nice.
Well, it's mathematically strange because the full 10 hours off instead of 8.
Yeah. Robbing the system. That's what's going on here.
Whole bunch of scammers, those
Bunch
employees.
of scammers.
Monument crew can't be trusted. Even me and Jason all by ourselves.
Bunch of scammers.
Mondays 3 said, with Monuments and Jason's experience in the hobby, what part of the wargaming/miniatures industry feels most underserved or in need of more people? It feels like painting and content creation is everywhere these days, so I'm curious what areas need more talent or support.
Oh boy, that's a really good question. My personal view is that we need more people in the industry at the retail level who really love wargaming. Right? Oh, thank you. Jeez.
Like, why is it so bright in here today?
Yeah, we need more people who have more knowledge about wargaming at the retail level, where people would find it in a store, you know, mom and dads bringing their kids in to learn, or go into a game store and seeing something fun and, you know, wanting to get more info on it. We're underserved in our industry with good, knowledgeable staff. You know, it feels, I was having a conversation the other day with someone in the business and talking about how it feels like a underwhelming hardware store. You know, like you go in and you need some plumbing stuff and there's nobody there that knows anything about plumbing. And you're like, well, I don't know what piece to get, but I have this faucet with this thing, and you really wish you could find somebody in the Home Depot that knew about plumbing. Back in the old days, you know, hardware stores had people that understood hardware. And so that's kind of what I believe the big issue is right now, is that card games and things like that have kind of taken precedent on the focus of retailers a lot of times. Not all of them. There are some really great retailers who do a really great job. But I think we are very underserved as an industry with knowledgeable people to help out with getting people into and then keeping the hobby healthy in your area. Too many stores rely too heavily on the members of the community. And the members of the community are great, obviously. That's us, right? You and me. But, you know, we move, you know, we have family responsibilities. We have all sorts of other stuff that we have to do. And it doesn't fit, you know, everybody's schedules. So I think, you know, we just need better representation and more commitment at the, you know, the store level. I don't think anything from the industry manufacturing related or any of that is underrepresented, really. You know, you can buy any kind of model for any kind of game you want. I don't think we're lacking in that regard. I think it's more about how to keep people invested and excited in the industry without it having to always be around what new product is coming out. And I think all the manufacturers have grown lazy with it being all about new product. And we need to go back to getting more people having fun with the product in the first place. That kind of what you were looking for? Because like you said, from a hobbying perspective, I think we've got more resources than ever before, and that's great. Not only can you find and paint models from anything in the world that you can ever imagine, you know, but you've also got great tutorials and places to hang out like here to learn more about it. I think the hobby's in a good space, almost too flooded in some cases.
Painting board said, my FLGS always seems happy to talk about painting, and I think it's because every time I'm in there, they seem to be dealing with mostly guys trying to sell Pokemon cards.
Yeah. Well, and that's good, and that's the kind of thing you need. Is because while they have to do the business that makes them the money, I'm not trying to make a comment about the FLGS and their revenue streams. I think you have to serve your customer, and the nerd world has a big component that is TCGs and all that stuff, obviously. But you need to not forget about the wargamers and the fact that wargaming is a hefty source of income for these stores, but only when people are excited about playing. In order to be excited about playing, you got to have somebody in there that is keeping that excitement going. There's a lot of stores in our local area. We have way more stores than most metros do per capita. There's a lot of stores you go into and they might have some Warhammer on the wall, but nobody that knows about it. And that's a shame because that's a big missed opportunity. Some of our biggest ones are like that.
Avian, Gabe got the coordinated all of the stuff for the shirts, but as far as the designs, that was like a combo of Jason and I believe Ryan.
Yeah, the art
Jason
team. Alex.
saying, I want this, make it so, and Ryan delivered. We have a great creative team. But then it was Gabe who coordinated everything, got them all up on the website, and made them available to you.
Yeah, Gabe's been on a mission to make sure that we have merchandise again.
Yes. Welcome to everyone watching us on TikTok.
Hello.
We are on TikTok now. This is, I think, our third day on TikTok. Fourth?
This is day 4.
Oh, yeah, it's Thursday. Started Monday.
Yep.
Yeah. 4th day.
Day 4 with the Tic
on
Tacs.
TikTok. We have Eli the Tomato on TikTok wondering if you ever paint salamanders.
I have in the past painted some salamanders. If you're talking about Space Marine salamanders. I do not have a like a particular thrill for salamanders. Not that they aren't great, but I don't gravitate towards them. Paint a lot of dark angels in the past. But yeah, we paint all sorts of stuff here. It's really rule of cool for us. Whatever I'm stoked about, either playing or just a cool model that comes out, stuff like that is the way that you'll see the content drive here on the stream. And that is also guided a little bit by chat. Chat will ask for things that they'd love to see me paint, and Chris, our how do I say this, babe? Chris, our normal producer.
Our normal producer. I'm the abnormal producer.
She's the abnormal producer, right? But yeah, Chris, our producer, when he's here, he makes a lot of notes about, what the community is asking for over and over again with regard to, content, or a lot of times just based around questions you may have, on painting techniques and things like that. And so that drives a lot of our content too. So he may say, hey, we've had a lot of people asking lately about glazing. And so I'll try to find a model where, glazing is a big component of it and put together some cool stuff for us.
That is true. Shailene Marie said that we always answer questions regardless of what we're painting, though. Yeah. So, Eli, if you've got any questions about painting salamanders, feel 100%. Free to drop them in there and Jason will answer.
100%. Do not feel like if I'm not painting something that is, of even of basic interest. You may not like the colors I'm painting and might not ever find yourself using them. The techniques that I use are still things that you would benefit from. And I can always take a break to talk about other things that maybe you've got questions about. If you've got color schemes or working on a particular army or idea, we try to handle all of that here. The goal of the stream is less about what I'm painting and more about keeping you comfortable and excited to paint, showing you some cool stuff. Maybe you've seen it before, maybe you haven't. I paint a lot of things from busts to obscure miniature game stuff that I like, that may turn you on to something that you've never seen before.
It seems as though calling Chris the normal producer is a bit controversial.
And that he's not normal?
A lot of questions like, normal? Maybe
Well,
usual or daily.
yeah, okay, yeah, usual. That
You
was another
mean
term I
Chris
was
is
thinking
the
of. Is like maybe we
normal
just call him
producer?
usual, but I don't know about normal. All right, I'm with you on that, chat. I'm with you. Normal's a stretch. Depends on what your definition is, but I hear you, chat. I hear you. That works.
Chris is okay and a nice guy, but normal?
Rough crowd, jeez.
You mean he's not just pressing sound effects buttons and pretending to be Little Billy?
I mean, that happens, so.
Justin said, speaking of underrepresented in this industry, it seems like it could benefit from more diversity. What do you mean? Do you mean like people participating in it? Because that's how do you do that? How do you can't force people
Yeah.
to
That's the
models
thing
or
is
play
we are in a
games?
very weird industry in terms of who the initial appeal is for. And so, you can't do forced inclusion. That's called slavery. Um, but diversity is something that is welcomed in by that energy I was talking about, right? If you keep a high energy, then it allows everybody who has the opportunity to see anything about wargaming and get excited about it. And that's how you breed diversity. Because I've been in some communities where you have a tremendously varied group of people playing. We have that here in Phoenix.
Yeah.
If you go to Gamers Guild we go on Friday night. We'll be up there tomorrow night, and it is everybody and anybody you can imagine hanging out and being nerdy together. But it has TCGs, and they have a lot of the tables that are set up for various wargaming groups and things like that. And so there's because it's such a massive place, as you walk around, you can see a myriad of different things with high energy that you could get involved in. And that's what I mean by, you have to maintain that. It has to be driven by the community leaders. And a lot of time, the community leaders are really the stores, the friendly local stores that start this because they're enthusiasts themselves in most cases. It's rare to see people open up a gaming store to get rich. It's usually open because of passion, and that passion has to maintain. We've had stores local, as I'm sure you have in each of your environs, where the owner just gets tired, loses the passion for it. And if that happens, then, the community around that store is going to suffer. So find a way to, keep employees trained and absorbed in it and being champions for the games you sell. And then you find more people playing, and then that's where diversity comes from in social terms. You can't force it.
Definitely. I mean, it is a very niche hobby still, while it still seems to be growing. But we could definitely recognize that it's mostly males.
Yep. Yeah.
There aren't as many females,
Wargaming
not as many women involved.
is a predominantly male thing.
Yeah, but
100%.
we saw at the tournament last weekend there were quite a few
Tons.
ladies.
Well, not tons, but yeah.
Yeah, not tons, but
It was
they were
larger
right
than
in there.
zero.
Yeah,
Which
larger
it
than
wasn't
zero.
too long ago in the history of wargaming that it would have been zero other than the girlfriends hanging out.
Right.
And now you've got team tournaments where, you've got full female teams and, teams with female members, and that's always great to see.
AVMD, are you in the EU? Because if you are not in the EU, you will not see any available products. You actually have to be in the EU because we want to make sure that people aren't confused with shipping.
What was the question?
Just what's going on with the EU website. Seems like everything is out of stock.
Yeah, you must be in a country that we do not ship to, unfortunately. The way that our system works is if you're in a country that we cannot ship to, you will see zero stock. It's a preventative way to keep you from filling up your basket and then getting to checkout and seeing that we have no shipping options for you. You can always contact support at monumenthobbies.com.
Yeah.
If you feel like, hey, I'm in a country that, is, an EU. The EU is strange because there are non-EU member states who are part of the economic jurisdiction of the EU. That we do not ship to because of the tariff that they charge, and the maintenance of that tariff causes tremendous customer service problems to ship to some of those countries. Switzerland is one of those countries that you would think, oh yeah, I'm in the EU. Well, you're not technically an EU member state that shares in you still have some that have weird taxation rules, and we don't fully understand it over here in America.
Dicey Mango said hi. I got to meet you at Gen Con last year. It was awesome. I got my wizard's butt.
Awesome.
The team will be back this year as well. Hopefully you'll get a chance to stop by again.
Yep. We were talking about that just yesterday or the day before. A lot of planning going on with regards to Gen Con right now. I don't know that I'm going at all. I try hard every year not to set up meetings at Gen Con.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite show just because of how busy it is and how easy it is to get lost in the crowd there. The older I get, the less I want to be around 80,000 people with board game backpacks on.
Oh, Avia, you're in the UK.
UK shipping has been turned off for the moment, I think.
I think so.
I feel like we had our UK VAT number turned back on. So email support on that one, because we should be able to service the UK. We had to turn it off for a moment because of the UK changed their VAT requirements from the EU again. And so we had to turn it off while we made sure that we were VAT compliant for the UK shipments, charging correctly and reporting correctly, obviously. They get mad if you don't pay them their taxes. But email support and say you're from the UK, and the EU team or the domestic team here will get back to you, and we might have to look into it. There might be a setting that's off there.
And if you haven't checked recently, maybe check again, because it was off and then it might be back on. So it's, if you're asking because you looked a few weeks ago and there wasn't anything available, maybe check again to see. Sarcastic Grandpa just ordered 2 shirts. Awesome. Thank you.
2 shirts are awesome.
Ugly said, why are the Pro Curl sets sold out in all of Canada?
I don't know.
I don't think they should be.
I don't know. People got excited and bought them all? Would be my initial answer.
Definitely, how Mandy, there are some really fantastic female mini painters out there.
Oh, tremendous.
100%.
We are
some very, very good ones.
We're right now working on our Canadian office. So we have started to do the website. Production is not yet running up there. We have a facility for producing Pro Acryl in Canada now. So the paint that Canadians will be getting very soon will be made in Canada. How about that? So we can better support Canada. So any of the Canadian woes will be gone very quickly as we get all of that up and running, which we're excited about.
Foxy, we still have distributors in the UK, so you should be able to find products in stores.
Element Games,
Wayland Games,
Firestorm.
Yeah.
Tons of retailers. The biggest, in Element and Wayland carry our stuff.
Yeah.
Contact them. That saves you that VAT charge,
right.
Which I'm not sure. I think if it's like under 150, you don't get hit with the duties, so you might be safe. But over $150 from Europe, you get hit with excess duty fees. So always better to try to check local. We have a lot of retailers in the UK that carry our stuff.
Crotch Scratching Pro.
Yeah.
Hello,
my
sir.
Man. Oh,
browsing for
sorry.
boredom.
It could be a woman.
Could be a woman. Browsing for boredom. Stopped for Shadow Flame Shard.
Dun, dun, dun. I'm painting Valix. Is that this guy's name? I'm going to lose my nerd point.
A very little War Machine painting going on Twitch, so lovely to see.
Yeah, I'm a huge War Machine fan, have been for eons. It was the game that I have played the most, probably ever, and I quit at the tail end of Mark III just because I got tired of how they were blowing the world up and the writing was on the wall with what they were doing, and they came out with Warcaster, and I didn't like the game. So you've not seen War Machine on this channel for quite a long time. And now with Mark IV, the guys at Steamforge gave us a bunch of models to paint on stream years ago when they first were getting going. And then when they came out with the Shadow Flame Shard stuff, I think it was at Gen Con a couple of years back, I was like, oh, look, Legion of Everblight. And so we got them in, and I started painting I don't even remember what the unit is called, one of the solos. And was kind of disappointed with the design of them. They're great looking, but the sculpt is a little hard to follow with regards to, it wasn't sculpted by a painter. And so a lot of the material that's on the model, it's hard to track. Like, is it metal? Is it flesh? What's going on with these guys? Probably fits some of the narrative, but is not really designed for painting. And so I put them on the shelf for a while. And then I just recently got back in with a group locally, and we're playing Friday nights. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm going to paint up my Shadow Flame shard. So Valix and the crew are going to war. So I've got, we started a color scheme that was going to be very warm oranges and magentas and purples. But because of the design of these models, I had to switch it over to something darker so that the bright colors could be on the bits that pop out and leave all the darkness to take care of those areas where you can't tell where the transition from quote unquote skin to armor to whatever else happens. So I altered the color scheme. But I'm having a blast now. Also got some Signar Gravediggers to paint. We'll be alternating back and forth. I'm in the process of doing a 2,000 point Tau army for 11th edition. I haven't played Warhammer in, good God, since our office was on 16th Street, babe.
Well.
So yeah, I said that I would, with the new edition, we'd at least paint up an army for Warhammer. Obviously, a lot of people love Warhammer. So we're working on some Tau, and then, you know, various other unsundry nonsense in between. I just paint what I think is cool.
I was just about to say that. Paint what you want.
Yeah, I just paint what I want. And I am a big fan of War Machine. I have to admit that my interest in it kind of came back into focus when, you know, they were like, okay, well, you know, we're going to at least balance some of the old lists and factions so you can still play with your models. Because I was really disappointed when they came out with Mark IV and were like, yeah, you can't use Grimkin or Circle or any of the stuff, you know, that you've built out over the years. That was a bummer. So happy that all that's back.
Mandu, we do have apparel. We have hats and shirts if you are in the U.S. If you are outside of the U.S., we are working on getting them to you soon. Making them available to you.
Can you scroll back up real quick?
What?
Can you scroll back up, please?
Yes.
Yeah, the new scheme looks great. I was going non-metallic metal on all the armor until there was so much armor on Orgoth. Oh, yeah. The Orgoth stuff looks really cool, but again, now I'm very discerning with how I'm looking at some of these models, and I think that my, you know, like I've got the Gravediggers. Gravediggers are very vanilla. It's like painting Ultramarines. You can see everything and what it's supposed to be. There's no craziness going on there. And then like Khador and the standard like Warjack, War Machine factions, I feel like are pretty good. I have Crix, you know, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah. I just love it. The War Machine world and the game have been great. Playing Mark IV has been fantastic. So they've really done a great job of paying attention and showing some love to the old style of War Machine and getting the rules to where it's fun to play. And so the group is having a lot of fun. It feels fresh. And I'm enjoying going out on Friday nights to roll dice and blow stuff up.
A question from Painting Bork. I really want to try a 30k Thousand Suns scheme using a Crimson one-step Zenithal. Is there a recommended color you'd mix in for highlights?
I guess, you know, the beauty of one-step is that you can mix your tint color in with the one-step to make whatever highlight you want. I don't know if he's over here. I used a flesh tone. Beige red, which was a flesh tone, and I mixed beige red in with crimson when I was doing these ribbons on our floaty set of armor, and the beige red gives a nice highlight to it, but it's also a dusty desaturated color for the fabric that I was doing. So on armor, you might want to go with something that's a little more punchy. You know, warm flesh works really good with crimson. It has more yellow in it than the beige red does, so it gives you more of a float towards orange for the highlights. It isn't orange, but it's going to give you more of that yellow base and make the red warmer, as opposed to cooler and desaturated like this for the fabric, right? But this kind of gives you the idea of where you can go, and with something like beige red or tan flesh, and then you can go to the opposite direction with pale yellow or warm flesh that will give you more of a red. It'll trend that crimson towards red.
John Hogan's asking if there are any new colors coming soon, not one-step paints, but standard paints.
Nope, it is the year of one step. So for the time being, the next set that is released is 12 more one step colors. That'll be announced or be sold at Gen Con. If you're going to Gen Con, you'll have set 2, 12 new colors of one step.
And then they'll be on the website shortly thereafter.
Yep. And then we have the final question mark set of one step dropping over the holiday period. And then I am working on set 5. I've been working on set 5 for a long time. When it hits is just a matter of when we can market it in with the one-step releases. So I would say probably beginning of the year. Sounds so funny to say that. I still am into the mindset that 2026 just started.
Well,
and yet here we are.
The halfway mark. New metallics potentially this year or no?
New metallics maybe this year.
End of the year.
Maybe end of the year. That could be the dual kind of Black Friday release that we might do some metallics. It could also be the beginning of the year.
Show those off last week.
Yeah, they're pretty amazing. Super stoked to have those available for people.
Matt B110 on TikTok said my 40K Dark Angels keep looking like salamanders and I'm getting frustrated with it.
So the green has too much yellow in it probably, and you're going too bright. That's the big thing that makes Dark Angels feel like salamanders, because salamanders has a green with a lot of yellow in it, right? And so in that chasing the right green, bluer greens are the thing that make Dark Angels really pop. We did this one, and same kind of issue that you're seeing, right? Some people laugh because it's more of a salamander's green, but I did Dark Angel's livery on him. This is too yellow. And then for my actual Dark Angels, I think I only have the lion here. I don't think I have any of the guys. But for my actual Dark Angels, I did black green and faded green and mixed those. And then I even did transparent black and transparent green mixed together over it at the end to keep it very dark. So it's like British racing green, except not quite as saturated as that. This I really like a lot. This tends to give me a good balance, and I can use it on both the 30K and 40K Dark Angels and get away with it. As opposed to this, which is definitely too salamandery as far as the yellowness on it. Right. So starting with black green, you can mix normal green into black green and it will be desaturated enough, but having that black green as a base is really good because it is more of a bluish green. And then as you highlight, I like faded green because it will allow you to brighten up the black green like on that model, but not take you into a full green. I've always thought that Dark Angels don't want to be as green as some of even the box art from the old days used to show them. But that's personal preference.
Beard missed the stream yesterday. Can you go over what the July challenge is again?
It is environmental lighting. Storytelling with environmental lighting. So, and by environmental lighting, we're talking about the actual environment around the model, not just OSL. So you're going to need to look at, and you can't use sunny day because that's how we paint, right? This guy is just painted as if he's outside on a normal day, right? And so that's the way that most of us fall into painting all the time. We don't want you to do that. We want you to do something else. Like what would a bright full saturation model look like on a cloudy day when there's no sunlight to really boost that saturation? Being in a cave, being on a very dimly lit, planet or moon. I want you to give me some storytelling using that actual environment lighting and show me understand how the environment light affects color on your model. That's the deal. That was done by Vipus, I believe, is the one who suggested that on the Discord. And it really rang true. I was like, that's a great idea.
Speaking of Discord, Painted Miniature Creation said, as a new painter who doesn't play yet, so minimal time and LGS, I'm self-taught thanks to YouTube, and I post on socials frequently. What can I do to solicit feedback that's not friends and family? Join our Discord.
Yeah, Discord is an amazing vehicle for that. If you, when you find ones that, you know, the people really click with you, you know, like any community, you're going to find that it either has your voice or doesn't. I feel like ours is a really good one. As a manufacturer centric Discord, it's not about us as a manufacturer. It's about being a place where people like you can come and just get really good, honest feedback from a group of people who are also invested in their painting. And it does that very, very well. That's great. We have our monthly challenges that people have been talking about here. And on those, you get to enter in, and, you know, they're focused around being less of a competition, more of a, I'm driving you out of your habits into new ideas. And you get a lot of feedback that way. But of course, that feedback is specific to how you're interacting with the challenge and not just general feedback all the time. But the Discord is a great place for that.
Yeah, definitely 100% check out our challenge. We do them every month, and there's a review. So like on this stream, and I think it's going to happen next week, they look at every entry and give feedback on it, talk about it. But even outside of the challenges, there's a channel, I think, for you know, feedback or hobby help or whatever it's called. And yeah, you can put stuff up and ask for feedback.
Yep, great resources for even just asking about, hey, what color would look good with a thing, you know, specifics about a model you're painting. It really is open-ended for what you can get there.
Sounds like Gabe did not get the challenge posted yet for July.
He was doing that yesterday.
I've seen several people say that they're not seeing it.
Well, he said he was doing it yesterday, so I don't have a good answer for that. We'll check.
Jason, how do you get motivated when you feel overwhelmed by the amount of models you need to build and paint? I've got a lot of projects on my desk right now and seem to kind of freeze.
Yeah, great question. You know, it happens to the best of us, and this question comes up daily. As you get more into the hobby, it's just unavoidable because we're collectors, right? You're going to always have more models than you can ever paint. That's the joke. That's the 12-step program you need to join. And so how do you do it? I think, you know, number one, you're picking the project that is exciting for you if you're doing it right. If you're a commission painter, all bets are off. Like, you got yourself into that trouble, dig yourself out. I say that with my tongue firmly planted in my cheek. But, you know, if you're a commission painter, then sometimes you don't have the choice to work on what you want to work on. You have to work on what you promised and pay and be a good business person. So, you know, from that perspective, assuming that you're not talking about commission painting, just your own projects, pick the one that you are most incentivized to do. The one that, you know, for me, you know, right now, the Tau Army is probably the one I'm most excited to paint, but it's not the one I need to be painting first. This one is, because this is the one that I want to be playing on Friday nights as I go play War Machine. And so I would rather have painted models than not. So I have, as of today, I built my Furies, the last of the models for this army. So I had 3 of the Furies to build. I got those. I got everything base. I started putting basing material on them, but I didn't get to very many before the show today. But I have all of the models. So I have like 23 models in this army. They're all built. They're not all primed, but they will be by the time I go up there tomorrow. I'm going to prime all the non-prime models and at least hopefully get them to the level where they have the base colors on them for our scheme. And then I just kind of do the motions day by day and say, okay, if I've got to that point, I can take them all. They're built. I can play the army. That's step 1. Then you prime it. That's step 2. So you just kind of finding those finish lines along the way, as opposed to treating it like one long race to get to the end of an army. Bust it up into small weekly races and say, okay, this week's race is to get all the models built, and then do that. Boom, you finished. That's great. You reached your goal. Next week is to get them all primed. Boom, you did it, right? And those are easy tasks so that, you know, keep them achievable so that then you can surpass them when you have time, you know. I have a lot of painting time generally. Not always, but I have more painting time than most. And so as I'm painting, you know, it's like I don't always want to just spend it on making it feel like a job, though. Sometimes I'm like, no, I'm going to break and we're going to paint, you know, a couple of things on a night. You know, so we'll do a palette cleanser and we'll say, okay, I want to start painting on one night, not for anything in particular, just to have a model to paint. It's how we do a lot of our display models. We just start a bust and work on it for a while. Having that other project off to the side, if motivation starts slipping for that project, is always good too. But that's the way I attack it. I feel like that is the best method for me, is to just say, okay, you know, like today, this morning I went in and I said, Jen, I'm going to paint. And what I really meant is I'm going to go finish building all the models for the army I have to play tomorrow, because I can't play without the models. And then I came up here and I built them, and I did not want to build those models, right? I put on my book and I sat here and I had an inner dialogue the entire time I was building.
Oh.
Listening to my book, and my book is actually good. But I had an inner dialogue the whole time I was doing, saying, why am I doing this to myself? Why am I picking another army when I have a million built models that need painted? Why am I choosing to do this one? And then I have to remind myself, because I'm having fun. Because this one I get to go and play, and Gabe and Chris are going to come out. Hopefully Philip will come back out tomorrow night. So we have a group that's getting together to do this, and that's an incentive on its own, even though it's not what I want to be doing. And so I just powered through. And the funny thing is that by the time I was bitching enough inside my head about it, I was done. I looked down and I go, oh. I was like, oh, I got it. And I reached for the next sprue, but they were all empty because I finished. And I was like, so I got enough in my head that I forgot what I was doing, and it really went away.
Philip said he'll be there.
Awesome.
Question from John Hogan. I noticed you don't use a wet palette. Tell me about your paint consistency management on a dry palette, and how you keep paints from drying out. Or do you just load your dry palette frequently?
It's less paint more often is the key. We are in Arizona, so we are, if there was ever a place where you would want to have a wet palette, it would be here, because of the humidity is negligible. And I just don't like them, right? That's my personal preference. I do not like wet palettes. I think they're largely placebos. They cause more problem than they help with acrylics, but they do solve some problems, like quick drying of mixes especially. So I'm a big fan of them when you're doing a lot of, 2-color, 3-color mixing. If you were a CMYK painter who was, trying to just use cyan, magenta, and yellow to do all of your colors with, then yeah, I think a wet palette is a necessity. I am not a fan of them for my own personal use, though. And so I don't. I just use a piece of glass, and always have, or a paper palette or whatever. You'll see me out and about with paper palettes too. And yeah, I just make sure that I add paint more often, and I don't really waste a whole lot. So, it's not, none of these are big peaked areas of paint. They're very thin. It doesn't mean that while I'm streaming that I don't put out a lot of paint and then get to talking and forget, and it dries up and I've wasted paint that way, but that's part of streaming. So that's not anything that I can really avoid technically. So
Cuban OC, I think these may be two different things. One is saying I want to see you painting Malifaux.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think this is separate. Is there any chance that the code from El Miniaturista will work in the U.S. store? Is that one of our monumental?
Yeah, if he has a monument code, it should work in all the stores.
Yeah.
If you do not see it, contact support and they can get it set up, because yeah, we don't have like just EU. There are painters that are in the EU, but their code should work in both stores.
Yeah.
Like I said, if it doesn't for some reason, then contact support and they can get it turned on, but it should work. Like the Louise's works in both the EU and the US, and that's working as intended. I don't know on his in particular at any given time if it is, but it should. I'm doing this because I know I'm going to put a filter back over this, so I'm going very bright with the contrast on these metallic feathers on the wings, or maybe they're not feathers, or I don't know what they are. But I'm going brighter than I need to because I'm planning on putting a filter over the top. I don't know what the filter would be yet. It might be the dark blue black one step. We'll make that decision. That's a future Jason decision.
Shaylee Marie said, I picked up Warm Flesh and tried it as a highlight for reds like you recommended yesterday. Worked super well. Thank
It's so
you.
good. Yeah, so good.
Kiro-san, any news on when we can get One Step in Canada?
As soon as the Canadian store front is open, we're working on the website now. Our first goal in Canada is to get all the Canadian retailers set to where they can order off of the website as we get production ramped up. And then once that is all going, which is hopefully sometime later this month, early August, then you should see it drop. So if all goes well, we'll have One Step set 1 and 2 kind of dropping simultaneously for you in Canada. It's taken us way longer than we had hoped for to get all of the Canadian production facility up and running, and we can't really do it until then, right? So that we don't have to import into Canada for you. We can keep your pricing better because we're going to be producing it right out of our office in Ontario. So Monument Canada is a incorporated entity in the in Canuck land. We are officially a multinational corporation with offices in France and Canada for our EU and Canadian offices. And the Canadian store, unlike Europe, will actually have Canadian produced goods. And the rest of Europe, as a matter of fact, the Pro-Acryl paint that hits Europe coming very quickly will be the stuff made in Ontario, which is awesome. I'm excited for that.
Justin wants to know if you've always used a dry palette even before Pro-Acryl.
Yeah. Yeah, there are times where on stream I've shown you how to use a wet palette. I've got one sitting underneath my desk so that when people say...
Anytime Jordan's here, you'll see a wet palette being
Yeah, and
used.
Jordan uses a wet palette exclusively. Well, not exclusively. He's the reverse of me. He primarily uses a wet palette and switches to a dry palette when he needs to or wants to. And I'm primarily a dry palette that will use a wet palette when I need or want to.
He will be here next week sometime.
Yep. He's going to come on tomorrow, too. He's not going to paint, but he's going to hang out with us tomorrow.
Awesome. Sleepy Wolfie, we've had the stream before we were Monument. So, yes. In fact, we are celebrating our 10-year anniversary tomorrow. Right here. We're here every Monday through Friday from 2 to 4 p.m.
For 10 years.
We are not Canadians. We are Arizonans.
We're honorary Canadians. I played hockey growing up.
Yeah.
Real ice hockey. I hit people.
Matt B on TikTok, yes, he said, did you say dark warm flesh or warm flesh to highlight red?
Either. Warm flesh is going to give you more of a bright highlight. Dark warm flesh will give you more of a mid-tone highlight. Both of them are good, but I always like to teach people that when highlighting reds, flesh tones should be your first choice. Because most flesh tones have quite a bit of reddish to them in the Caucasian realm. And the ones that don't will trend more towards yellow, like advanced flesh tone, things like that will have yellows in them that will help to keep your red from becoming too pink as you highlight it. So on my Blood Angels, I've used Pyro Red, Orange Red, and then Warm Flesh into the Orange Red. And so the highlight on there winds up giving you something that does not punch into pure pink. And then I use pale pink as the highlight. The actual shine is pale pink. So I get a more orangey, or we call it salmon, right? I have a mixed bottle that I've made of what we call for fun eclectic salmon. And that is basically orange, red, and warm flesh. And that is a great color for highlighting red. And then once you've got that on the model, then, pale pink if you want to do metallic, but you could also do pale yellow, whatever you want. And it keeps the red very red in its highlighting and doesn't push it one way to the other towards orange or too much towards pink. It kind of keeps it right in the middle because that's what that salmon color really is a nice hybrid. And so that works a lot better for highlighting red in most cases. And it can just kind of become what you use, right?
Velvet Yoda, it will be in
Still
Ontario.
waiting, vestiges.
Ontario. Jeff Brandon wants to know the color workup on the wings.
On these, right now it is just dark blue, and then I'm adding in gray blue. So this is pure gray blue that I'm using right now, but the in-between color right there is dark 50-50 dark blue, gray blue for that one. dark blue base, dark blue, gray blue 50%, and then gray blue straight over the top. And I'm going to be doing a filter over the top of this. So that's why I'm going bright. And I'll probably go with white blue over the top of this. I'll wait and see what I think when I'm done with all of this first.
Shadowcast said, I want to say that after years of doing this, I am now starting to understand placing highlight on the models. I got a Chaplin model, and even just sitting on the stand from across from me, I can see the color depth in the model. So thanks for all the advice.
That is awesome. Isn't it such a good feeling, right? You know, for years we've told people that value and volume do all the work and color gets all the credit. And it is only when that really clicks and you see it happen that you're like, I get it now. You know, stop worrying about what color you're using and start worrying about how bright or dark the color needs to be to pull off the volumes of the model, right? And then you can start having the freedom of knowing that, okay, now color is mine to control, and I'm no longer at the point where I feel like if I use the wrong color, it's not going to look good, when it really has nothing to do with that. You know, you can definitely mess something up by putting colors together that don't look the way you want them to, and you won't feel good about it. But for the most part, you know, all colors work with all colors when you're desaturating them. And so you can make really cool combos from things that wouldn't have shown up on the color wheel. But in order to do so, you have to be able to control your light.
Houdini, you know what the rules are about Wet Willies. $20.
Well, and she isn't in any kind of position to give Wet Willies.
No,
Number one, she has a bum wrist.
For the anniversary stream. I have another hand.
She has a bum wrist. And
I might bring Poppy. And, Poppy tends to give them away for free.
Oh, that's true. Good God, she got me so good the other day I could hear the ocean. And yeah, she can't sneak up on me anymore because she has to come from across the room. So this is not as easy as it used to be.
We used to be right next to each other, so it was much, much easier to sneak up.
Yeah. Now she's like across the room, so it's not as easy. I see her coming from a mile away. I can prepare, get my defenses ready. There were a couple times in the past where she got me really good because I was just like down here, dug into my painting, not paying attention, innocent little me, and then gloop. Well, I guess we made $20. $20 is $20.
The Canadian paints will not be maple flavored. Don't eat the paint.
Hey, they may be.
They will not.
We use donkey butt flavoring in the U.S. There's nothing that keeps us from a little bit of maple syrup in the paints in the Great White North.
Really done a number on this microphone today. Trying to get it to the right spot. Christopher adjusts everything for me, but this one time I think he forgot to change the microphone stand because it was like way up here, and I've been trying to get it into the right spot, and I am not maybe twisting it tight enough because I do have a bum wrist, and it just keeps like dropping down.
Saggy microphone sounds like a personal problem. See a doctor if it persists for longer than 4 hours. Put bitters in the paint so people don't eat it. We've tried that. I mean,
it's paint.
They still do. Crazy
It's
people.
not like it tastes good. I will go to Canada and buy Canadian Pro Acryl if it tastes like Canadian bacon. It won't.
Chat, she has no control over this. Don't listen to her.
Dangerous that I educated my little girl about Wet Willies and wedgies the other day the hard way.
I was going to say, this could either be dangerous or a whole lot of fun. Hopefully that was a whole lot of fun. How did she take to it? Are you now living in fear, sleeping with one eye open? What's going on? I feel like that's the kind of thing that a kid tries to do at the worst moments because they don't have the socializing yet that makes them understand when it is appropriate to give Wet Willies and wedgies. Not that it's ever appropriate.
Saggy microphone. Chris's stripper name. Coming to the stage. It's Saggy Microphone.
Saggy Microphone. Let's hear it. Give it up.
Haven't tried Pro Acryl yet. Too many paints, and I'm on the broke side. Will them being made in Canada affect the cost? Only the shipping.
I mean, yeah, shipping. It'll keep them from being able. It'll price protect them more in Canada because we won't have to look at egregious price rises as often. Hopefully, we try to keep good value in the paint all the time.
Fat Boy Gaming on TikTok. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome in. Thank you for joining us. We are new-ish to the TikTok live.
Day 4.
All week.
Day 4.
We'll continue to be here every Monday through Friday from 2 to 4 p.m.
Our TikTok rep got excited that we're doing it.
Nice. That boy said, I love Pro Curl. Need to get some more. Well, we would love for you to have more. Is there a store in your area that you frequent that sells Pro Curl, or have you bought from us on our website? Either way, we appreciate it. We love it when people support the
over
the
500
stores.
500 friendly local gaming stores in the U.S., 50 plus in Canada, about the same across Europe, and growing every day. So thank you for your support.
As well, there are many stores in Canada that sell Pro Curl, 100%.
I like that. That's looking good.
Hey, Andy on TikTok, hello. Fat Boy Nurse is in London.
London.
Is that near to you? Hey, looking like I'll pick up some One Step soon. Awesome. Yes, Shailene Marie, tomorrow is our birthday stream.
Dun, dun, dun.
10 years.
10 years old.
Of streaming.
8 years of Pro Curl.
8 years of Pro Curl.
10 years of stream. It's insane. And technically 10 years of brushes.
Yeah. We made brushes, brush soap, bags before Pro Curl. Yeah, before we started making paint, we made other products. We released the original first 29 colors of Pro Curl on Black Friday of 2018.
Yeah.
Bad Handpill, did you say 500 in the US? We did. Mine is about to come online right down the street. I'd be curious to know what number I landed on. Oh, you're opening a store in our area?
I think he
That's
said
exciting.
He's got a store coming online down the street from him.
Down the street from you guys. Us guys.
Us guys? Who's down the street from us guys?
Well, it's not open yet. It doesn't sound like.
Sometimes people say down the street in Phoenix and it's like Tempe.
Well, Back Alley Miniatures. Jordan swung by earlier in the week.
Oh, nice.
Where are you located? Down the street in Glendale. Yeah, that's. Oh no, that was Creeks. Sorry, 19th Avenue, Bethany Home. Oh, like by the Target.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's in the Target Olive Garden.
Where the Olive Garden is.
Costco. Costco.
No. That Costco closed. It's a home.
Oh, it's that
furniture
it's
place.
that furniture place now.
But the movie theater's there. West side from Target, closer to the bowling alley. Oh, so across the street. Okay. Yeah, because the bowling alley is on southwest, I think. Southwest area. Matt B, what? He is leaving money on the table. Matt B on TikTok said I have to order all my Pro Curl online because my LGS owner says no one would buy it, so he won't get it.
Well, I can only lead people to water.
Yeah.
I can't make them drink.
Tell him to Call any other stores.
He is in. Yeah, our
And
store,
ask.
our store partners are our biggest salespeople because they're like, yeah, it's like having a money tree. People won't buy it. Is the most insane take
Yeah,
ever.
that's a little wild. Unless there's like it's not a painting forward store. Does he have
Yeah,
other? Does he carry other lines of paint?
yeah. That's the only thing is that there are certain stores who do not make enough of their revenue from hobby paint and hobby in general. If they're card forward stores, we have to be honest with them and say, that we take a look at it and say, what is your general revenue over a course of a year, and how much of that is in the wargaming and hobby space? And we have numbers that we know they won't typically be successful if they aren't at particular levels, because it's like I was saying earlier, you have to support the hobby with the store first. And if you're just moving a little bit of Games Workshop and Citadel paints and stuff, then typically having too many paint lines will be a detriment. You just don't have enough people that you're supporting there.
Carries Citadel and Army Painter says they are better for Warhammer.
He obviously doesn't paint.
Yeah. We're sorry to hear that.
Listening to the Army Painter sales pitch too much. Our competitors will say, it's right in their name, it's Pro Acryl, it's not meant for people painting armies.
Oh goodness.
That's their only sales tactic. They can't make paints that beat us, so they.
Hey Andy, that's awesome. Hey Andy said at my LGS I push Pro Acryl out of what they carry and they call me to come in and help people with it.
Awesome.
Choosing what fits best for them. That's so cool. Do they give you a discount for that?
Yeah. Do you get some sort of a bonus for that?
Loyalty points at the store? And Chaos said, still get pleasantly surprised when I run into a random game store and I see Pro Acryl.
Awesome.
It is exciting. Like, hey, I know them.
Yeah, we still get giddy when we go into a place and
For
we're traveling,
sure.
or people send us a lot of
Every
photos
time I
like,
go to
hey, look,
Gamers
I was
Guild.
traveling and here's a place, and we'll have family members and stuff like that.
Yeah,
They'll be like,
my sister sent me a picture not too long ago of like, look what I found, and it was a Pro Acryl rack in a game store that they had stopped into. I get super excited when walking into Gamers Guild because it's like right in the front.
Yeah.
You see it right as you walk in. Very nice. Are you using white blue right now?
what? No, this is gray blue.
Gray blue.
Gray blue. Gray blue. Yeah, Pro Acryl is made on the basis, and the name comes from the fact that a good product will make everybody feel like a pro. A pro can make any product look great, but it takes great products and great tools to make everybody feel like they can be a pro. And that's where we come from. Our tools are for everybody at every skill level. And we show you live on stream exactly how that works, from the most basic to the most advanced techniques. Our paint just does it all.
T Andy, if you first of all, if you're in our Discord, you can send a message to Jabe in our Discord with questions about the our Monumentals program. You can also send, if you're not in our Discord, you should really join. But if you don't do Discord, you can just send an email to support@monumenthobbies.com and just let them know you're interested.
It is a requirement to be in the Discord if you want to join.
If you want to be a monumental,
Yeah,
okay, so there you go.
You need to join.
Gamers Guild is a great store.
Where we do our War Machine on Friday nights.
Yeah.
Some of the locals have kept War Machine going through the years. I'm just coming back to it.
Oh.
But they have been
Jason
locked
used
in
to
for a long
play
time.
War Machine every week on Wednesday.
We would go paint at Games U, and then the gang would get off work and start flowing in, and we would start playing at anywhere from 4 o'clock on, and then we would go have dinner. And it has been a great social group. Now at Gamers Guild, the only thing that I miss is that we don't get to go have dinner because they have dinner there.
Yeah.
So people are like ordering food at Gamers
Yeah.
Guild. So it's not like we're going to try to go to dinner after, but it means that we can stay and goof off for a long time. So we're generally up there till 10:30 or so.
Yeah.
And I think tomorrow everybody's going. I think Jordan, Chris, Gabe, me, Phil, sounds like. Our whole crew will be up there. New guy that I met locally, Bryce, I'm hoping is going to go. And we try to keep that community growing, keep people interested in it. If you're local, always welcome.
Snowblinky said, what is the difference between the 3 brown washes you sell? Hard to tell with just bottles or names. 3 brown washes.
Well, there's brown wash.
We have brown
and then
wash.
There's petroleum brown wash. Petroleum brown is a greenish, yellowish brown, more like a sepia tone. And then there's a flesh, and then there's a brown...
Black.
The brown gray? So I don't... Yeah, I mean, they're all just different colors, right?
The names are...
So the brown is, because we
specific.
name our stuff exactly what it is, you're already kind of understanding, right? So you've got brown, and brown is more of a, going to have a little bit more warmth to it, right? So it's more of a I don't know, like our umber colors. The brown gray is a very dirty brown because it's more desaturated with the gray. And then the petroleum brown is got yellow and green and is more of almost like a sepia. So yeah, they're very, I mean, you can tell them fairly well apart just by the bottles, right? On what they're going to do. And they're interchangeable. Brown as a wash for anything is just going to be dirty and various different forms. They all work great for flesh tones as well. So depending on what you're painting, they're all great in their own way and stand on their own too. I use a lot of the brown gray for terrain, like on this rock, things like that. It works great. But they're all not limited by their usage to any one thing that you can dream up. They'll do whatever you need.
Gillenborn said, regarding your point that volume and value do all the work, would it be possible for you to paint a model using the black and white filter on stream, but in completely mismatched colors?
Sure. And then surprise you by turning it on at the end?
That would be kind of fun.
That'd be kind of fun. That's a great idea. You'd never be able to guess the colors, right? Because we can, the thing that we do and what he's talking about is this, right? When we do the black and white filter, what you're trying to do when you paint a model is make sure that you have your shadows and your brightness baked in so that you can tell what the material is without color. And so you can see the shine of the metal that I'm painting here, and even somewhat on the wings, even though we haven't really done the full metallic on the wings. You can see how those midtones and shadows interplay to keep different parts, like the armor and the way I've highlighted that, very different than the way I've highlighted the webbing on the wings. It's all metal, so it's all very shiny. But when you paint a model, like if we grab like a finished model, right? Right, and being able to tell the difference in the shine of the armor versus the dullness of the skin, and be able to have your model read correctly and get the idea across of what everything is without color is really when you start to master painting. And that would be fun if I were to paint it, and then at the end just go, be like, okay, everybody got your guesses locked in, and be like, okay, boom, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because you find very quickly that color is additive. It makes the piece more interesting, but it doesn't define the piece necessarily. The value and volume really is what defines it.
Tech Elf said, my local stores don't carry Procurl, but I found a place about an hour away, so I treat myself a little road trip about once a month.
Getting very aggressive about that, so that will start to change here pretty soon if all is in our court. We have some pretty smarmy competitors that do things to keep us out of stores, and that'll go away here pretty quick.
Silver said, I'm just a hobbyist painting war dollies, but pro acrylic completely changed my enjoyment of the hobby, so I guess you don't have to be a pro.
Not at all. That was never the intent. You know, it's funny because people treat it like that. Like I said, like they'll be like, oh, they call it pro acrylic because you're not good enough to use it. And I'm like, what in the world are you talking about?
We are pro acryl. Like, we are for it. We are for the acryl.
I guess that goes without saying, yes. We are friends of the acryl.
War Machine every Wednesday? What is he, a nerd?
What are you talking about? The answer is yes, but what? Wait, what?
Girl said pro acryl stopped me from quitting the hobby. True story. I kept getting frustrated by bubbles and paint.
Awesome. I hate to hear that you're struggling, but that's why pro acrylic exists, because I was struggling with all the paints I'd used for years. And I knew there had to be a better way, because every time I picked up an artist acrylic, it just works. And so there are industries out there that make art supplies that know that the artist should be the weakest link, not the product. And yet hobby has always been that the product causes you to have to learn first how to use the paint before you can even start painting. And that always felt ludicrous to me. But I had done it for so long, right? I've been painting for so long that it just became what it was. They're like, okay, well, that's just the way it is. And then when we made our white paint first, it was like, oh, maybe we could do this for everything. You know, if we just put our minds to it, maybe we really could come up, and found some really great partners that were willing to do it with us. And there you know the rest of the journey.
Mally, hello. What time is it there? It's late, right? Mally,
Yeah, 9 hours.
Painting.
Add 9.
Oh,
Mally.
just after midnight then. Okay. How hot is it there, Mally? I keep looking at the weather every day, hoping it changes.
Do we know if we have an air conditioning in our house yet?
No. But it's cool at night. It's like 60s at night, because it's not as hot during the day as what Mally was talking about. It was like 112 when they were talking about how hot it was at night. We'll be fine.
You heard her, Chet.
Yeah, DFWD Wegcom. The giveaway is tomorrow for our big celebration anniversary stream.
Turn it 10. We call July 4th our birthday.
Yes. Independence Day.
I don't know. Should I go brighter? I could go a little bit brighter. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, let's do it.
Old Gamer, your store still doesn't sell Pro Acryl. Unfortunately, I tried to get them in touch with you to also sell it. You can send Baby J a message in Discord with the store info, and he will call them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We'll make it happen. If they're
I
serious about it, we'll make it happen.
I always say Baby J. We also have Kenny, who is a great part of our sales team, but I just don't know what his name is on Discord. Looking about 30 degrees when we're there. That'll be cold. I better take sweatshirts.
It's not. That's like 80 something.
That's not bad. Super Duper John said, when I get my hands on Pro Acryl, it becomes Super Duper Krill. Go.
We love it.
It's called Pro Acryl because we couldn't call it Super Amazing Win-Win Fun Time Paint.
Yes. If you ask Chris, that's exactly why.
It would be hard to fit that on the label. That is true.
We couldn't get too big. The bottle wasn't big enough to put that on the label.
Uh-oh. We turned someone. Gillenborn said, I will admit, about 7 months ago, I wasn't a huge fan of Pro Acryl, was forced slash challenged to use it on a project, and never looked back. Saw the way.
You know, we live in that world where people will be like, you know, if somebody you know tells you that, you know, it's garbage, then you may avoid it. And I totally understand it. I have to watch myself when I talk about movies and books, because I'll be like, that movie sucks. I got to remind myself that what works for me isn't always going to be the same influence for somebody else.
Hey, where is there on our website, is there a link to join in or to enter the giveaway?
Not on the website. He does it only here on the stream.
Just because I don't think that links work in the TikTok chat, and I want people on TikTok to be able to enter it as well.
Oh, that I don't know. We need a
All
Chris for
right.
that.
Okay.
I'm just the paint guy.
I know.
You're asking me to know too much.
Tay, I'm gonna try and put the link in TikTok chat. You might just be able to copy and paste it into your browser. I think you'll just have to copy and paste it. But that's the link to enter the giveaway. Let's see. Brew for brew gods. Can you help me understand mediums and when to use them? I have glaze and wash medium, water, flow improver from maybe Vallejo, thinner, etc. Sorry, it's a little vague. Just seeing if there's a nickel tour thought approach.
Yeah, mediums are things we add to the paint to make it act differently. That's the first thing you got to know, right? That's all a medium is. Is it something that makes a paint act differently? It can be a thinning medium, right? Water is technically a thinning medium for water-based paints, not for all paints, right? Like not for enamels and stuff. But water for most water-based acrylics is fine, and so that's a medium that you can put in. And when to use them is when you want the paint to act differently than it does out of the bottle. So if you find yourself saying, hey, I want to do airbrushing, and the paint out of the bottle is making my airbrush clog. So you're going to need to add some form of additive to get the paint to flow better. So then you have like a flow improver or a special sauce or glaze wash medium, something like that, that helps to add more flow, maybe lower the viscosity of the paint a little bit, things like that. Then I am using white blue now, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. I switched over to white blue, pure white blue, no mix. And so then it is a matter of what the individual mediums accomplish for you. So, in our world of mediums, we have glaze and wash. Glaze and wash has a higher viscosity, so it is thicker like paint, and allows you to dilute the opacity of a paint, meaning to make it see-through, more see-through than it was out of the bottle, so that you can glaze with it without having it have to become lower viscosity like it does when you add water. Okay, because when you add water, it thins both the opacity and the viscosity, and when you lower the viscosity of a paint, it becomes runny. And some people don't like having to glaze with runny paint. And so until you learn how to control runny paint better, having something like the glaze wash medium helps you learn to glaze without the friction caused by that low viscosity that water creates. So that's why you would use a medium for that. Mediums like our Noosh extend the dry time. So they make the paint behave differently by the more you add in, the longer the paint takes to dry. And that gives you longer working times with the paint so that you can do things like weathering and, put the paint on and then strip it off and not have to fight it with heavy solvents like you do with oils and enamels. So it turns acrylic into a little bit of a different beast. And that's really it. The special sauce medium is built primarily to turn your normal pro acryl colors into one-step paints so that you can use them as more of a speed paint type paint. But it also works great as an airbrush medium. I've been using it pretty much strictly as my airbrush medium here recently. Kind of an unintended consequence of the mixture that we use for it. It's great for that.
We do also have a metallic medium.
Yeah.
That's just in a tiny bottle, like a regular 22 ml bottle, not the larger medium bottles.
Yeah, unfortunately, it would be unaffordable if it was in big bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the metallic medium is used when you want to turn a normal color into a metallic because it is strictly just the uncolored version of our metallic paints. um, with an amped up metal flake in it so that it can stand to be mixed with more opaque colors to give you metal colors.
Reindeer regime. I'm wanting to prime in your purple primer for my white armor, but I'm doing purple for cloaks and cloths.
Uh-huh.
Would the primer help tie the two together or make it clash?
No, I think it ties it together great, right? Whenever you can use, depending on how much of it you let show, right? If the purple is allowed to show a bit, then it can give a really good relationship between the other things that are purple on the model. There's no reason not to use it. You're probably familiar. I use dark purple and royal purple as base coats for nearly everything I do. Even when the model has other purple things that I want to paint on it. If the model itself is purple, then I typically don't use a purple base coat. But as long as I'm, just doing purple details or spot coloring, then yeah, it can help tie it all together. Got to be careful. Sometimes it can make it look like there's purple reflections all over the place if you're doing it like that. This doesn't need a whole lot of a filter. It starts to look like kind of a bright metal anyway.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be more of like a black metal. I'm not sure that I'm really mad at it with just the blue though. After using the white blue on it and getting the shine going, I kind of like that as it contrasts the purple. And it's still different from the way we've done the swords. Not bad.
Bill Reiser, how much medium would I have to add to One Step dark green to use it as a recess shading?
So more like a wash. You want it to be just kind of a regular wash. I typically do the water in the One Steps, and I would do maybe maybe like 3 or 4 to 1 water to paint. I'm always bad with the ratios because I just kind of squirt it in there and then go with it. And if it's too thin, I add more paint. If it's not enough, I add more water. So I just bounce around a lot. But if you want a good starting point, I feel like when I'm doing that, I'm going like 3 or 4 to 1, a little more aggressive, and just water, no One Step medium.
Oh, thanks, Chris. I used one of the Restream ones when it popped up automatically, and I pasted it in there. They can't click on the link in TikTok, but I think he was able to copy and paste because he said he was able to get signed up for it.
That's a big difference. I wish these had sharper edges to them. It's really kind of annoying that they don't. So I'd like to be able to do more highlighting on the undersides without it being an absolute nightmare of
Chaos and Lead. Yeah, Kenny does a lot of cool stuff with Noosh. He's done some great stuff with the One Step medium.
Kenny just does great stuff.
He just does great stuff. He's very creative.
Yeah, Kenny is not
afraid. Finds new ways to use things. Yeah, exactly. He's not afraid to just try something.
Kenny's not afraid of the paint.
Let's see if this works.
He's not afraid of the paint. And that's what we try to teach is don't be afraid to use things outside the box, right? Art is controlled chaos to some extent. And the chaos comes from us just having crazy ideas, getting creative, throwing new stuff against the wall, see what sticks. And the nice thing is that what we're painting is not, I don't know that I would suggest going and trying something completely belligerent and new on a model that is nearly done that you've spent 100 hours on, right? But somewhere inside that timeline is, like me, I'm like, okay, so I don't like where this model's going. Let's change it. Be able to look at the model for what it is. It's a goal that is supposed to make you happy. It's not, brain surgery. So, we're allowed to make changes. We're allowed to be unhappy with it. We painted up a full model in this army and decided no. You know, I painted this guy,
Sure did.
right? I painted this guy and was like, nope, I don't like it. But I really like where I was going with the purple as I worked the purple up. I didn't like how magenta it was. So I was like, I could do that for the whole thing. And I think that would work. And then I can rely on the cool yellowish orange that I wanted for the body. And I can just make my gold kind of fit in there. I haven't gone back and done any magenta on the gold, but I could. You know, and so now I have a version of the color scheme that works better for this army. This would have worked good for just about any other War Machine army. But for this army, because of the convoluted nature of their armor and skin, it just didn't work very well for me. So, you know, you go through those things where you're like, yeah, I'm not afraid to try new stuff. You know, the question about medium is a great one because, you know, certain mediums, you know, will say on them that they're for this, but use them for whatever you want. You know, Kenny, when he got his hands on Noosh, used Noosh as a way to wet blend and keeps a little bit of Noosh out on the palette all the time so he can mix all of his paints into it. That's not how I developed it, and that's not what I would have thought it would be used for, but why not use it like that? That's great. That works great. Let's go back to the black and white thing because somebody brought it up earlier and look at the difference between this side and that side of the model now.
Yeah.
That white blue gives the final shine on these wings, whereas this stays dull. And this then gives us that value, that pop, that makes it look like it's reflective, you know, metal. So you can just see cool. the big difference as you create more contrast.
Yeah. A couple questions about metallic medium and one step. So from Cuban, can the metallic medium be used alongside one step to make a colored metallic one step? And then similar maybe question from Shailene. I got the metallic medium yesterday. Can I mix a normal color with special sauce to make a one step and then add the metallic medium to preserve the flake better?
Yes.
Go back so
you can use here's the way we want to start this. You can use one step medium with any of the metallics to create one step metals, right? So there's your starting point. So you can take any of your metallic paints, use the one-step special sauce in them to make one-step metallics. Now, if you then want a color of metallic that isn't represented in your range, then you can mix the one-step medium with what you've concocted as your colored metallic. You would make the metallic color you want first with the metallic medium and whatever paints you want, right? Do that part first, and then add the one-step medium to that. But yeah, 100%. Go for it.
Double T said, Mrs. Double T said that this workup is so pretty. I think she's liking it.
Awesome.
I think it looks great.
Yeah, not my normal color schemes, right? But I really have been into purple lately. And a whole purple army looks really good on the table. Purple is one of those colors that doesn't fatigue you as much if you do it right. I mean, you can obviously do purple and yellow like this, and it can be fatiguing because it can be so vibrant that it's like watching the LA Lakers play basketball up and down the court, right? And so if that jazzes you up, then go for it. But for me, I like it more desaturated. And so that's what we've done here because we've used like the faded plum and the pale pink for the highlights on the armor. And that keeps it very desaturated. Yesterday, we went back with the crimson one step and went over the areas that are more like skin on him. And that gave a good variance between the armor. So it's still monochromatic, but it gives us some variation between like the plates on the tail and things like that. It's not these, like I said, these models are frustrating because it's not like all of that stuff is really skin. But I don't yeah, it's just frustrating to me. I don't know what it is. But by doing this, it kind of brings it in as if it were skin because it lets me color it that way.
Chuck is here and Jade is here.
Hello, Chuck and Jade.
Welcome, Chuck and Jade. Has it really been 10 years of Pro Krill and Monument Hobbies? 10 years of streaming.
10 years of putting up with me.
And what had shortly thereafter morphed into Monument Hobbies and to Pro Krill. So technically Pro Krill has been available for almost 8 years.
Yeah.
But we always celebrate on the 4th of July for reasons. And
it's our Independence Day.
It's our Independence Day. So
when we relaunched the Monument website
as fully US based was on July 4th.
Yeah.
And that was in 2020, but we have been doing this.
We combine all of the...
We put it all into one big party.
Into one big party.
And we use July 4th because it's just a fun celebratory day. Fireworks. But don't set fireworks off if they are not legal in your area.
Especially not if it means I have to take Jen to the ER the next day.
I'm saying I have a fireworks related injury.
She has a fireworks related injury currently. We had to take her to the
and not
dock in the
because I
box
was setting
yesterday.
up fireworks.
The dock in the box, because she didn't know how to maintain her fireworks control. She's out on the street running around with black cats in her hand, yelling and screaming.
No, it's fine. It was just a little accident caused by some fireworks that went off outside. I was not part of the setting off the fireworks.
But the dog's excited.
It was a dog reaction. Unexpected, very loud fireworks.
Yeah, on a not fireworks day.
On a not fireworks day. Poppy got a little startled. Cora got a little concerned.
Hilarity ensued. And then Jason takes Jen. And then Jason takes Jen to dock in the box the next day. That's what happened.
Celebrate your country's independence by blowing up a small piece of it.
Yes. Welcome to America.
I love all the memes that come out around this time of year, or what, like really like last weekend, where people said, some people don't know that this is their last weekend with all 10 fingers.
Yeah.
If our neighbors don't chill with the fireworks, Jade will be inflicting fireworks-related injuries. I think there's some people in our neighborhood who will probably be inflicting some fireworks-related injuries on those who are not respectful with their fireworks. Right? Arizona too. These dry places should not allow fireworks at all. People will always still get their hands on them, but it's pretty bad. Rimble said, so I was watching a video on YouTube back when it was slow fuse, when you were using other brand paints.
Yep.
You were airbrushing white as the base coat to get the lighting on the model.
Yep.
The model was going to be brown. Do you still use white to know where the light is going to be?
I teach that. We don't do it a whole lot. Once you get confident, and like I haven't actually used like zenithal highlighting as a way to guide my painting for decades, but on the stream we'll teach it so that people can learn, because as you're trying to figure out where highlights and darkness need to go, it's one of the best ways. It's called a value sketch, and you can do it with your brush. You'll see some painters on canvas will do a value sketch first and then do color over it. Whether it's glazes or just filling in the blanks is up to them. But, you know, when you really look at it, it's a great way to find the light on a model, so that, and I don't have any live ones here, I don't think. This is not a horrible example. This is a little too heavy on the white. You know, where you have this is a good angle. So this is where you've done black and then you've done white as a dusting coat over the top that sets light up, so that this model, you know, using the white and the black, no matter whether or not I take the color away, it's exactly the same, right? So we take and make the whole screen black and white, and now you're looking at the same exact model. And the idea here is that if you pick an angle, typically 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock on the model, then you can set up a really nice dynamic lighting on them that isn't too dramatic. It feels normal. You don't go from noon. Don't spray directly up and down. Go 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock on the model. Spray it, and then you get shadows. So this guy was sprayed from over here on his right shoulder, right? And so all the brightness hits from his right shoulder, and all the darkness is over here on this side. Now you can either use this in one of two ways. You can use this as a underpinning for paints like One Step, where now you put a thin or a diluted opacity paint over the top of this, and the white and the black show through and makes it look like you've done a lot more painting very quick in that contrast style. Or you just use this as a paint by numbers kit, and you start applying your bright colors where the white is and your dark colors where the grays and blacks are. And so both ways are very useful as you're learning it. What we'll find is that through repetition, you'll start knowing exactly what needs to be bright and what doesn't, right? You know, so when I do painting, it's just, you know, I just know where I want my highlight and my shadows, and I'm not worried about the underpainting. But it is a great tool. And an even better tool now that we have paints like One Step, where using that is such an easy application of light and shadow that doesn't take hardly any effort, and then your first coat of paint goes and utilizes it and makes it look like you've done a lot more work on the model than you really did, I think that's highly valuable. But you'll very rarely see me do it unless I'm using a lot of one-step paints. Or in just teaching.
Question from Ogre. I primed in dark purple. Would it be okay to use red oxide black mixed over it, then slate gray at a 45 and white as at a 90 with a final of blue one step?
Sure.
There you go. He said sure.
Yeah, remember that if those colors are helping you work towards your scheme, dark purple is always a great shadow color. So it's always, there's never a time where it's the wrong color as a dark layer, unless maybe you're just painting something purple. Because like I said, it can get monotonous if you paint a model. If you're painting ultramarines and you start with dark blue and then go middle blue and then light blue, that can look a little boring at the end versus using purple as a base. Same thing goes where if I were painting these guys, right, I chose to base these guys with dark blue because dark purple would have just been another purple on the model, whereas dark blue adds something in the shadows that a purple would not have, right? So if I'm painting purple models, I don't use purple as a base. I typically switch to blue, and everything else gets purple. That's, when people ask me a lot what their color choices for their undertones base coats should be, I'm like, well, it really can be as simple as it's purple unless the model is purple. And then the highlight color is anything you want that's bright and that helps to accentuate the main color of the model. And, that can be pale yellow, white, blue, like I'm painting right now. If you're putting cooler colors onto the model as its real color. So if I'm painting a model blue, maybe I do dark purple and white blue as my zenithal.
Ogre said making an ultramarine captain, trying to make it look a little worn out.
Yeah? And? What do you want from me?
I think just reassurance.
Yeah.
Ghost Hunter said, stop asking Jason for permission to use paint. Paint can't hurt the model. I think it's more that sometimes people just want to be reassured that their thought process
100%. No,
is
that's
valid.
never bad to ask.
It's not bad to ask.
Not bad to ask. And it is, it is a journey to realize that it isn't as concerning as we make it out to be when we start. And that journey, I can't tell you how long it takes to get there. That's up to you. Yeah. Right? And so as we paint, it's like the brush thing. A lot of people start painting with the smallest brush because they're painting small things, and it just makes sense. Small thing, small brush. That means I can do all the details. And then they develop these bad habits by painting with these tiny brushes, and it's like then they switch to a bigger brush, and they're like, oh my God. Like going to a size 3 or a size 4 brush changed my life because as long as it still has a good point, I can now do everything with this brush as opposed to having small brushes, not carrying enough paint and all that. But, if what you're asking when you're doing like an ultramarine that's all beat up, right? I think that my that paint the ultramarine quick video was a pretty good version of that. We didn't chip him or do any extra weathering, but just the way that I built the color up was something that gave it a good kind of darker, dirty intermediary color in the panel lines and things like that without having to weather, right? Because we did this with like burnt sienna as a base coat. And they did the blue, built up the blues over the burnt sienna so that rusty burnt sienna color existed in the panel lines. And remember, we did this mostly with dry brushing to build up the color, I think. And it turned out great, right? So this was doing models quick and getting a really good result. And then this could even be desaturated more if you wanted him more beat up and use less of like the sky blue on there. And maybe not, I probably went to white blue as a final highlight, maybe not do the white blue. Maybe do a wash of like the brown gray over him, right? That would desaturate this, or just a thin down black wash would desaturate it. And then all of a sudden you can start and build up a bright, nuclear blue ultramarine and then weather it back down into what you want. Sometimes that's the way it feels most comfortable because you can control and stop when it gets where you like it. So lots of choices.
Sleepy Wolfie. So if you go, I just checked on mobile, and in the tab, or sorry, in the menu, if you go to community, the community tab, and then yeah, so first click community, then click community tab, and then if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see, well, that just says meet our monumentals. I don't know where it is. You can always send a message to support@monumenthobbies.com.
What are they looking for?
With just information on the Monumentals program.
Monumentals.monumenthobbies.com.
Monumentals.monumenthobbies.com.
No.
Oh, no, that's the...
Monumentals.monumenthobbies.com.
There you go.
That's the website.
Okay. Okay. Several questions came in here. Let's see. One of them was about One Step. Calgarth, is One Step supposed to be used on white or light gray, or can and should it be used on every color I want to use?
I like it over all sorts of chromatic bases, but yeah, white and black is great. That will give you the most contrast, right? Because white's the brightest color, black's the darkest. So if you want the most contrast to get the most punch out of One Step, then white and black works great. The other colors are what really bring it alive. Like my Star Wars army that we did these as dark purple, as the black, the air quotes black, and then taupe, our taupe primer over the top of that. So it was this taupe as the highlight, and this as the shadow. So we did dark purple and taupe, right, as our contrast, and then we did this is all just one coat of paint. Right? No highlighting. Except I think I hit it with a dry brush of white blue on just the guns. Because our dark blue black takes all the detail away almost when it's that constricted. But, you know, you can see, like, it makes the models look great. And that was just taupe. Taupe has a little bit of a you know, like an earthy yellow brown to it. So it's while it's not as bright as white, it's still going to give you the contrast with a purple, but it's also going to make all these colors feel more earthy while, you know, keeping them brightened. So I think that worked great for like Star Wars Rebels. That just made painting these guys instantaneous. We were able to knock out this whole army like I don't know, a week of time. It probably took longer than that, but.
Jack Not So Nimble wants to know what colors you would use and how would you go about painting non-metallic platinum and tungsten?
Tungsten is just dull silver in most cases, right?
So.
And then platinum is just bright silver. So, you know, not all, it's white metals and yellow metals, and then copper, right? And then you have like bronze, which is a combo, but bronze polishes to silver and dulls to more of a coppery gold. And so that's really where you're living. To say paint platinum, you're never going to paint anything and have people go, that's platinum. You're going to go, hey, that silver looks bitchin'. And you go, yeah, it's a platinum thing, right? Because white metals are just white metals. They just are brighter or not bright. And so steel is a not bright white, and then platinum is a very bright white metal. And so when you're doing that, it's just about how much shine you give to it. And that's really the key. So when you're wanting to base, I think that when you're going with brighter white metals, you probably start from a base of more of just grays, you know, dark and mid-tone grays as your base, and then build up your bright neutral gray and then your white on top of that. And you keep it in those neutral tones because that gives the better feel. Unless you want it like polished mirror finish where it's reflecting the environment, and then you start bringing other colors into it. I like a lot of my steels, well, like what we're doing here with just dark blue to white blue through gray blue works really well. And it gives almost a gunmetal feel when we're done, right? And so because of the blue, so it's like oiled, you know, gunmetal, and that works really nice. You know, if you wanted to use like for dulls, you know, like tungsten, to me, I can only really think of like tungsten rod that is used, the tungstens when I'm welding, and they're a dull metal. They're mostly grays, you know, and so when I'm doing that, I do something like this armor. It just has a little bit of blue, not as blue as like this, you know, and this winds up being a good dulled steel, can do dulled aluminum this way, you know. Again, you're not really trying to have it pinpoint what the metal is. That's not really easy to do because you can polish all sorts of white metals to look exactly the same. So that's, you know, but when you look at it, you get the feeling of what this is. People know it's a steel. It's something that they would associate with the form that it's in, like armor. And so, you know, you go through and pick your color basis. And for white metals, you're generally talking about grays and blue grays and then fake whites like blue white is the realm that I go. The swords here are done with our blue black and pale yellow, and then topped off with white blue. So the blue black and the pale yellow almost go to green, like a greenish blue, faintly. You look at the difference between that and this that's just blue, right? And then back here, and you can kind of get the feel of the greenishness if I put it in frame like that, right? So here, using blue black and pale yellow, the blue and the blue black and the pale yellow work together to give it a kind of a greenish tone, which I think works really, really well for steel or magical weapons or things like that, because it's not just neutral gray, right? So again, you just play with it and figure out how you want it to be. This, I've blended more of the bright colors on than here. I've got more contrast built in here so that this looks like a darker metal than this does. So you play around with those types of things and just keep pushing your value scaling and how you want it all to appear. And you do the same thing with your values. When you want to do golds, you just switch up your colors to yellows, and then oranges for coppers, so on and so forth.
Always love a little Percival appearance.
A little Percival.
Yeah. Panic Bomb said, Jason, can you show us how to paint Chaos Space Marine trim and helmets?
No. I refuse. Too much. What do you want to know about it? If that's a serious question. Is
that a real question, Panic Bomb?
Because it's just more of the same, right? The big problem is, if you're doing non-metallic metal, the big problem with any of that stuff is that I broke off his little Horus Heresy symbol. His little Eye of Horus symbol finally broke off. When you're painting Chaos trim and you want to do non-metallic metal, the problem is that you're so narrow in the trim that you're having to put a lot of contrast into a very small area. And so that's your big struggle, is how to get it to read like there's, a shine and then also the dark reflections. And so you're just having to do it with a finer pointed brush, right?
Panic Bomb said it was not serious, but it's getting interesting.
Right. So trim is just annoying because it's skinny. And when you're trying to do it either with metallics or non-metallics, you're having to fit so much into such a small area that to find your darkness versus your highlights is usually the toughest part, because it either always over brightens the model, like down on the leg where you don't want it to be super bright, it over brightens the model, because if you're using metallic paints or you can't get your darkness done right, then it can unbalance all of your contrast across the whole model, and that is my biggest problem with it. I'm gonna try to fix this thing real quick now that I broke it all. I have to fix that.
Oh my goodness.
The Eye of Horus and non-metallic gold fell off.
Oh no.
Rip. See if we can get that back on there.
Fuzzsaw said, going back to the Dark Angel's problem of being too warm, which do you think would have more impact on cooling the green? Dark purple or dark blue? Shadows. Dark purple shadow or dark blue?
Dark blue, I think, is best. Payne's gray, dark blue are fantastic for green armies. Purple works great too, but I'm a big fan of dark blue with greens. The blue is a component of the green, so it's very complementary to everything you're going to be doing anyway. Oh, this is going to be impossible. This is one of those where in order to get it up on here right, I got to glue my finger together.
Do you need tweezers? I don't have any.
Good thing I don't have any of those.
Could bring you some. Justin said, I've seen you do this with a frameable on stream, but do you ever drop a shadow of your miniature's body on the base of the model?
Yeah. Sometimes not super intentional. Oh, God. Hold, please. Let me see if I can get this done. This is almost impossible. Holy crap. Again, this is one of those things where it has such small spiky bits on it that it's like going to stick into my finger and never let me pull it away from the model. Got it. The problem is I always grab this model right there.
Yeah.
Like when I go to pick it up, I always grab that shoulder and my thumb hits that and just busts it off. You just not grab that model anymore. Please don't fall off. Please
Pick it up by the
off.
base.
Please don't fall off. Okay, back. What was the other question? I'm not painting a green base.
Oh, the shadow on the
Yeah, I
on the
mean, whenever I
base.
do bases on something that it matters on, I will leave the area underneath the model darker than the area around it. But to be honest with you, it's rare that I care. Trying to find out if there's nah. Like even on Dreadnought, nothing. I don't care. Could you? Sure. But I typically when I'm doing bases on models, they're just for gaming, and I don't have a real dynamic light source, so the shadow's not very important on the ground. Could you? Sure. I think you need to, in order for that to really pull off right, you have to make sure that your lighting on the model is dynamic so that the model matches where the darkness is headed on the shadow on the ground. Otherwise, it kind of doesn't matter. I just kind of don't put the bright colors on right directly under the model. I'll paint like the dark gray usually, and then as I dry brush or do whatever on the stone, I'll work it out towards the edges so it stays dark underneath the model. That usually is enough. But there's no reason why you can't. I'm trying to think. I don't have any models around here that are
3:57.
what?
I know. I wasn't even paying attention.
What?
3:57.
I mean, I got a lot done. I got a lot done on these wings. I don't think I really want to do any filters, to be honest with you. Oh, it was white blue, wasn't it?
Dangerous that along the lines of the shadow question, does it matter what color for the shadow? Like cast shadow should be black or chromatic?
Chromatic generally, because you're going to want to think about what you're putting it on. If I'm doing it on like brown dirt, then I want a dark brown and maybe mix in some Payne's gray. You know, the one that he's talking about is the this one, the Whiplash Willie model, where we started. We never finished, but we started doing the cast shadow on here, and that was all done with Payne's gray. Right? Payne's gray gives a good way to do it. We did it for the hat here, and then we started sketching it in over here. Needs to be fixed up, but got off to a good start. And that I just used Payne's gray. You can then go in and you can filter other colors over it if you want, but you know, I do it fairly thin to start with so it inherits some of the color behind it, and Payne's gray is a great shadow color.
Amazing VHS said, is that a new Legion War Beast?
It is a Warcaster or Warlock. This is the leader of the Shadowflame shard, I think, right? Or maybe Lilith is. I don't remember. But yeah, this is I'm never gonna remember his name. Valix. So he's the Warcaster for this faction or for my army. And then they have all sorts of crazy war beasts. This guy. Lots of multi-headed serpents. I really dig.
Rimbles, where'd you get it?
Droth, you can't put that on me. I won't accept it. That's not how that works. You can't be like, I'm going to paint it with a green base, and if it doesn't come out or gets talked about, then that's because Jason wouldn't show me.
No, but did you buy it from us directly, like from our website, or did you buy it at a store?
What are we talking about?
Rimble said, I just picked up my transparent white and it smells rank and the white is hard. Does that mean there's a leak or broken seal? You bought it from us 6 months ago.
Yeah, probably not a great seal on it.
Yeah. Contact support. Support at monumenthobbies.com. Send them an email with as much detail as you can, like pictures if you're able to. They'll get you taken care of. If you've got an order number, that helps too.
They can track it down off your email.
They can track it down off of your usually they can track it down with your email address, but if you've got it, whatever information you can provide will be helpful for them, but they'll definitely take care of it. Was this the first time you used it?
Transparent white has a much shorter shelf life than
Yeah.
any of our other paints. That's just the hard truth of zinc pigment.
Amazing VHS said, my paint keeps clogging up the nozzle on my Procurl. What is the easiest way to prevent this from happening? Are you closing it every time? Closing the bottle up every time?
Our nozzles won't clog. They
clog.
will get dried paint at the tip that you
Yeah.
have to pick off if you don't remove that paint at the end. The nozzle itself won't clog, but the top opening might have a blockage. When you're using the paint and you put a droplet out, make sure that you just wipe the cap on your palette to get that paint, because when you close here, after I get done with this, I'll show you what I'm talking about.
And Telemachus, I see your message with your sub. First of all, thank you for the sub. Telemachus said, I still want to see Jen paint Horace in Lisa Frank style. I'll even provide the Horace. I don't know what Horace.
That model I just showed you where I had to fix it.
No. No, thank you. Right? Where's the dad joke? Maybe that was the dad joke.
All right, bottles. So when you use our bottles, let's just take like this gray blue, right? You'll notice how number one, if the paint dries across the top, you can normally just get your thumb in there and pick it off if you need to. Typically, it won't cause a problem because there's a point that pops up out of there. So as soon as you retreat the tip back, then it should break the paint up there anyway. But you might want to clear it if you're airbrushing, just so you don't get dried chunks in the airbrush or something like that. But lift it up, and then when you put it out, can you switch over to the palette? So when you put out a little spot of paint, we'll do it here, right? Do that, and then you notice I wipe the tail of it off. But then when I go back and I twist it closed, there's going to be a little spot of paint on the top. Make sure you wipe that on your palette too, or keep a paper towel close by and just wipe it off real quick, and then you won't have that dried paint on it anyway because it clears the top.
Yeah.
These are not new tops. They're used we call them mustard tops because they're used for food stuff more than anything else. But that's the way to do that.
Amazing VHS said, I forget to close them sometimes. So if someone were to forget to twist the top down and it dries in there.
If it dries in the actual top, the nice thing about these is that you can take them apart.
This might help you.
So you can, when you twist the actual top, you can just with your fingers, once you've twisted it to its full length, just kind of reach there and it'll pop off like that, and you can pull it back. And if it's dried, then you'll have chunky paint in there, and you can just clear that. You can take the cap off, right? And you can just wash that out, because that's the only place the paint will dry. And you can wash out that entire cap, just with water, warm water. And once you get that done, then you're back to operational. So if you do happen to just leave it open, the paint in here can start to get a little chunky.
Yeah, so if that there's like a little hole in there,
There's
right?
3 triangles on the side here. If I take a brush, you'll see, right? Like, pop through there. There's actual loads of paint in there. But see, it has holes that it...
So you might be having a little paint dried up in there if you're not closing the tops. So the way to prevent it, close tops. Write yourself a little note. Have I closed all my Procurl?
Well, the more dangerous thing if you haven't closed all your Procurl is the shaking of it the next time you want to use it. So the drying out part isn't even the part I worry about.
Yeah, because you'll shake it and it'll spurt everywhere.
Yeah, the part I worry about is that if I leave it open and I go to shake it up the next time, it's going to go all over my shirt and the wall and the table and my miniatures. So yeah, definitely make sure you're not doing that. We all have at least once. I've got quite a few shirts with paint over the shoulder. Gillenborn, no, I can't. I don't even know what you're talking about. Are those real words?
We have a video for that.
Are those real words?
Zilfer, thank you. We agree. But people like what they're used to. They get used to something. They don't like change. We get it. but they really are the best because you're not going to squeeze it really hard and have the whole top explode off.
Yeah, no.
Like what will happen with the dropper.
Yeah, the problems with droppers far exceed the problems with Pro Acrylic. And
Yes.
people just, they take the face value of, oh my God, it's new. But they are much, much better than the standard dropper caps.
Yeah, and a lot of those things just become muscle memory. Like the wiping off of the tip just becomes muscle memory if you use our paint regularly. Yep.
I don't have a Christmas sushi for cleaning brushes. He won't touch my brushes, that bastard. Silver, yeah. Copper speed paint explode all over your room and your self walls are still. Oh no.
Oh.
No.
Oh, there you go. New monument shirt. Close your paint top with paint splatter all over it.
Forgot to close the top. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us and watching some paint dry. Remember, tomorrow is the day. It is our 10-year anniversary tomorrow on tomorrow's stream, so we would love to see you back here. It is going to be a big day of tons of giveaways. I don't even know what Chris is going to be doing.
I'm scared.
Jen will be. You be here?
Yeah,
you'll be here. Jen will be here. I think Jordan's going to join us, so maybe Jay will be around for a little bit. I'll be here ignoring everybody and trying to paint in the madness. I'm sure I'll have a hard time doing it, but we'll be doing some painting.
I want Christopher to bring all those balloons back.
He took them home, I think.
Well, they're not here.
No,
so.
he marched them all the way down the hall. He was like fighting them. He was all struggling. He was all struggling with his balloons yesterday. He was like, grumble, grumble. I go, what are you doing? He goes, I'm going to go kill some turtles. And I was like, kill some turtles? He was like, with the balloons. So, but I don't think they're coming back. No one ever knows what Chris is doing. I mean, yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. Remember, the new shirts are up on the site. We have the paint or dye shirt you can grab, as well as the definitely not a cult shirt that I was wearing yesterday. Make sure you check out the new apparel over on the site. The group did a great job of getting us some cool new shirts and hats, as well as all the Pro Acrylic paints and all the wonderful stuff you see me using on stream. We got some good stuff done today with the metallic. I don't even know. I always want to say feathers, but they're more like, I don't know what they are. The blades,
wing blades.
the wing blades of his wings. And so we've got a lot of work done there. Just some, we're down to the itty bitty niggling details on him now, and figuring out what the terrain color needs to be, I think is the hardest part. And whereas we did on the towel to use a very high contrast color base on them to do the red Martian desert style bases, we don't want to necessarily do that much on these guys. Probably more like a neutral gray, mossy, maybe use some mossy greens and rust colors on it or something, but we don't want it to be anything that detracts from the crazy purple that we've got going on. So,
Droth, I think Chris does know what Chris is doing, and that's why we need him.
Yeah. Chris actually does have a plan.
He has it all.
He never lets us know what it is.
Yeah.
But he always has a plan. Can we sing Happy Birthday tomorrow? Heck yeah. Heck, we'll all sing Happy Birthday to the air. Thank you, Monument Hobbies. Happy birthday.
We'll do a big group sing-along.
We'll be excited to see you back. Did you get all the links up there?
I did put the links in.
Check out all the links that Jen put in chat. Make sure to join the Discord. Over 7,000 amazing artists just like yourselves. Great inspiration, great fun times, fart jokes, food, you name it. Great contact.
Good, friendly community.
Great community.
Sometimes some bots, but we try and get rid of those.
So we will look forward to seeing you. I think I will be streaming Monday because I didn't realize that our flight doesn't leave until really late.
Like 9 o'clock.
So I will probably stream on Monday. But tomorrow, the birthday stream, we normally do this Monday through Friday for all of you who may be new around here. Please hit the follow the sub button, depending on which platform you're watching on. 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday here, Monument Standard Time in Phoenix, Arizona, on Twitch, YouTube, Kick, and now TikTok.
Thank you, everyone over on TikTok, for hanging out with us.
All of our TikTok fam. It has been growing tremendously just in 4 days. Yeah. So it's great to have that platform really respond well to a live painting show. Watching some paint dry on TikTok. So thank you so much for joining in over there.
Sal Manila, yes, this was painted today. We're about done.
Sal literally has the best name ever.
We're wrapping up right now.
So,
but you could watch this on the VOD, and then we'll be back tomorrow, and he'll probably paint more of it because he's playing the game tomorrow night. So
yeah, I have to go play tomorrow night. I have to tomorrow during the day before the stream. I've got to get primer and at least base coats for my own personal satisfaction on the 10 or 12 models that I have built that have not yet gotten primer on them. So I've still got some work to do. So I'm going to come in early tomorrow morning and start doing that. We do have a off day. Well, we don't normally work on Fridays anyway. But I did that today too, to just get some basic material on them. I don't think I'm going to get as far as I would hope to by Friday. I was hoping to get more color, have the whole army turned over into the purple, but I don't think I'll have that patience tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, we'll keep plugging away on some details tomorrow. I really would just kind of like to get him done. Maybe we'll do the base tomorrow and figure out the color on that, and do his teeth in his maw. There's some details here that would still spice up the model a little bit that we can work on. But yeah, he's coming along good. I'm happy with it. As a nice, quick color scheme that actually does, now that we've worked through a model, will go very quickly on the rest of them, since I know what I'm doing now, and I'm happy with it. Then I think we've got a really good plan together. So I'm excited to see this whole thing on the table with I think there's 23 models. War Machine has so few models, I love it. But yeah, so thanks for hanging out. We'll be back again tomorrow with a big birthday stream. Don't miss out. Make sure that you have signed up for the giveaway. Chris will have that link in the chat tomorrow. So if you haven't, don't worry. Just show up tomorrow. Join in on the giveaway so you can be signed up for our year of the giveaway stuff. It'd be awesome.
Thank you, Gabe.
Jabe got the challenge up in Discord. So now the challenge is defined. You can get going on the July challenge as well.
So no more complaining, you people.
Great reason to join up on the Discord. So thanks so much. Stick around. Jen's going to find us somebody to raid, so show some love in the chat. Probably Kenny.
Not a lot going. No, it's Thursday.
Oh, it's Thursday. Yeah, I keep thinking it's Friday.
There's not a lot of painting going on Twitch right now.
We'll find somebody.
We'll do our best.
So enjoy your evening, and we will catch you.
It might take a minute.
We'll catch you back here tomorrow. Adios, guys.